So, continuing with the preparations for the desert, we have some new Bilstein shocks to go on the back because the back shock on the passenger side is broken. So we're going to go ahead and take those shocks off and put these new shocks on. These are reservoir shocks. Let's see, I'm not sure where a part number is. Alright, so they are part number 25176-230, and they fit the Nissan Frontier, I guess. So what we did was measure from eye to eye on our shocks, and then added 3 inches is what it said to do on the website. So hopefully these are the right size. So yeah, we'll get to installing these. The stock bolt, the shock bolt that holds these on is a 19mm. I've already squirted them with some penetrating liquid to help loosen them up. And yeah, let's take a look at that. Not much light under here, but let's see what we can do with this. Let's see, that would be tight. This would be loosened. Let's see how tight these are. Oh, wow, they're not bad at all. Of course, my socket's a little bit shallow. Well, let's put that wrench on there, and we'll get them off here, no problem. I hope the top one loosens up that easy. I don't remember the last time we had these off. Oh, I think they were off when we added the rear add leaf. You won't see me wear gloves that often. I just don't like the feel of working with them. I like to be able to feel the parts and what they're doing. However, this is the broken shock, and it's pretty dirty. I don't want that on my hands. Looks like it took a beating right here, doesn't it? Doesn't want to come out. There we go. There we go. I don't know why it was leaking, but it still seems to be working fine. Oh, the top is the 17mm. I knew I should have checked that. Yep. Okay, so the top is a 17mm. Let me get that off here. See if it's loose enough to get it with my hands. Now with the new shocks, they don't come with these boots. So we're gonna save the boots, clean them up, and put them on. Now some people may say, you don't need the boots. But you know what? This is a street-driven truck, and if you don't put the boots on it, the road debris and everything else that's on the roads will go up there, and especially the new shaft, especially the new shock, the shaft will be exposed on the bottom. So it'd be more apt to get road debris on it and damage it, causing rust or whatever, you know. So we'll be reusing these shock boots on the new shocks. I'm just gonna clean them up. Okay, there's the shock is down. Now let's take a look at the new one. All right, so we got the new shock out. It's got some parts. We got some bushings here for going into, we got some bushing inserts here to go inside our bushings. Now the other shock had an bushing insert on the bottom, but not on the top. So I'm assuming that it's going to be that way with this one. And also it comes with because this is a reservoir shock, it comes with the little, I don't know what you call these things. Anyway, they mount to the shock, and it will help hold the reservoir to the side of the shock. Right there. Put this down, it'll mount like that. We got these things. Of course, one of those things where you need another hand. They'll mount like this, like that. See that? And then there's a a strap that'll go around them to hold them like that. That's how they'll be mounted. Man, I can't hold on to nothing. So that's how it'll be mounted on the truck. Then it's got some hose clamps that'll go around and clamp it like that. I'll put a zip tie around this just to hold that down. That's gonna look nice. Should perform very well too. I just want to make sure these inserts, the bushing inserts, fit on the truck. So the new shock, the hole in the bushing is too big. Or excuse me, the hole in the bushing is too small for the factory bolt, and it didn't fit in there. So I want to use one of the inserts in there, and I would have had to drill out the bushing. Well, that's not always the easiest thing to do either. So I took the bushing out of the old shock. The bushing's still in good shape. This is the spacer out of the old shock. I'm going to wire brush and clean this up. I'll clean up the bushing, clean out the inside, and we'll put it in the new shock. Now I've made a setup here with my C-clamp with a socket the same size, or roughly the same size as the outside. There's a socket on the inside, and as I turn this, it's pushing the bushing into the socket, and it's taking it out. It's easier than trying to hammer it out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the bushing, the old bushings, lubricate them, and put them in the same way using this setup, so I'm not putting stress on the new shaft. And yeah, I'll get on that right now. I'll get it done. Okay, so I've cleaned the bushings up, sanded them down, got kind of the high spots off. The insert, I got it all sanded down smooth and cleaned up with a wire wheel. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and grease these up and install them, and we'll get ready to put the shock on the truck. Okay, here's the shock assembled. It looks really good. I like it. Got all the ties in. Excuse me, got all the hose clamps on. Tried to line up the clamps as best if I could. There's the zip tie holding the crossover tube down. I've got this on now with a zip tie. The boot's on. And as you remember, I said I'm putting the boot back on because this is a street driven truck, and I don't want the shaft getting rusty and pitted and everything else. All right. Okay, I finished the assembly on the shocks. Changed out the bushings here so they fit the truck bolts now. Where's the bolt? So the truck bolt fits now where it didn't fit before. So we're golden there. Oops, got a little grease on it. And hose clamps are tight. Shocks are nice and firm. I put this zip tie on here just to keep this in, because this swivels. Both these swivel like this, so the hose can go different ways for travel when this is mounted, when the reservoir is mounted to the frame. So in this position like this, I put this zip tie on here just to keep it from flopping around while the truck's driving on both of them, as you can see. It turned out really nice. Can't wait to have them on the truck and see how it performs. Would you look at that? Look at those shocks. That's the shocks fully installed, mounted, bolts are tight. They look amazing. Go good with these new BFGs we got. This truck is ready. Really ready for the trip. The other shock's in over there. It bolts to the back side of the, it bolts to the back side of the axle. Another side of those beautiful BFGs. Look at that. There's the axle vent mod. Here we go. Beautiful shock. Bilsteins rock. Here we go. Ought to be fun in the desert. They're a little bit stiffer than the last ones, but I'm sure they'll soften up when they warm up and cycle through their travel, you know. Oh, that's another successful DIY Willy project completed. We've been wanting to put reservoir shocks on this for a while. It was good, nice, easy. Just had to change that bushing on the bottom so it fit the bolt down here. The top was good. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Leave a comment, a suggestion, give it a thumbs up. If you give it a thumbs down, please leave a comment, tell me why you gave it a thumbs down. That way I can make my videos better for everybody's viewing. And thank you for coming back to DIY Willy. And another project completed. All right, off to the desert.